was not aware of. Very interesting. And Bobby Ryan, good morning. Oops, I'm sorry, I hit the off button instead of the on. Bobby Ryan, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, thanks for being here. This is really very interesting. This is in Middleburg, the Dr. Best house and medical exhibit. Now, he apparently was a doctor in Middleburg for quite a while, right?
Yes, he was. He actually hung his shingle in 1884, started seeing patients out of that very house, and the house to this day still looks like it was when he was alive in the 1920s. We have a historic kitchen, we have medicine bottles, anything you can think of that family had, we still have in the house.
Wow, that's really interesting, because today with all the modern stuff we have now, give us an idea of some of the medical tools that he may have that are located at his office.
Sure. We actually have a very coveted piece. It's an electrostatic machine. It is about, I would say, 5 feet tall by maybe 6 feet long. Children that, well, they used to be children. They're in their 80s now. They come and visit the house, and they joke around that they thought Dr. Best would kind of stick them in the box to make them behave. But it's a wonderful piece. It still does actually work. We don't operate it, but we have had it working in the past. We have, my gosh, everything from Civil War surgical kits. We have anything you could possibly think of. They didn't get rid of anything.
Well, now, like the Civil War surgical kit probably would have a saw or something in it?
It has a gruesome saw. It is so sharp that when you look at it, you fear you're going to, get a paper cut. But it is a complete set. We even have the uniform that was worn in the Civil War by one of the family members who survived the war to be traveling home and contract yellow fever and pass away in transit.
Now, was Dr. Best, were there other doctors in the area at the time, or was there just like one to a town?
Oh, no. There were several doctors, and they all had their special calling. Dr. Best was known for his sense of humor, and, back in those days, the family doctor was your entire medical history. They were the computer that walked around and knew everybody, and the fascinating part about our house, if you had family members that were traveling or that lived in this area, we still have the medical ledgers listed alphabetically by name. We can place your family member in the house.
That is incredible. No, that's really cool. When I first came across that, I said, wow, this is really a gem.
It truly is.
Yeah, the doctors back then they had to be pretty creative because they didn't have all the fancy tools to rely on today that the doctor, it's still a very difficult job, obviously, but they had to be probably a little more creative back then.
Oh, absolutely. And this family of doctors in particular loved technology. They were on the cutting edge of everything. There are family rumors that Dr. Christopher Best was very good friends with Thomas Edison, who worked out of GE, who would travel out this way. That's documented. We're still trying to find some actual documentation that kind of linked the two together. And Henry Ford. So
no
lots of work to do, but we're on the search, and it's a blast.
Yeah, I would say that is very exciting stuff. Now, you say the house is has all the original stuff in it pretty much, huh?
Absolutely. We don't have any replicas. Everything that is in the house currently, the Best or their family owned, and were brought in. We have some hats, for instance, some beautiful vintage hats. They're pieces of art that were owned by Christopher's aunts and great aunts. So there are pieces that are a little bit more extended, but definitely all family related.
So it's like almost going back in time. You walk in that house, you're back in the early 1920s, right?
It's exactly like going back in time, yes.
Oh.
The floors, everything. The woodwork was never painted. We have beautiful pocket doors. The detail in the house for the day was exemplary. We have, you look at a hinge in the house, and it's ornate and beautiful, and everything in that house is just exquisite.
Isn't that amazing? Now,
it is.
Now, back then, doctors probably made house calls.
Oh, absolutely.
So he probably had his little doctor's bag, too. You still have access to that? Is that there?
Well, don't laugh, but we have more than one. We have little time capsules, we call them. It was not like women with their purses, for whatever reason. He would use a bag. He would finish up with a bag. He would set it on a shelf, and he'd get a brand new bag. And all of the contents of those bags just kind of stayed in the bag, and he restocked a new bag. So we have time capsules that kind of catalog being a doctor through many, many, many years.
Now, when is the Dr. Best home open for people to tour?
Well, we do have our off-season, which we're in right now, but if people are interested in tours, we do school groups, we do, business associations, car groups. Our number's on our website if you'd like to schedule a tour that way. But our regular hours of operation are May through October on Thursdays from 10 to 2, And then July and August, we've started a couple of years ago. We're open on Saturdays from 10 to 2.
You know, it'll be interesting. I wonder whether the Albany Medical College would send some students over to look, you know, just to get an idea of what it was like back then. You know?
Sure, we would love to. We're trying to reach out to many of the medical organizations. It's a learning experience for us, too. We literally have thousands of pieces unidentified, so it would be great. I mean, as much as you cheerlead for this place, until you walk through the door, you can't grasp the magnitude of what's in this house.
Wow, that is...
It's amazing.
That is fantastic. And I was just on your... I want to go back and make sure I get the address here. Well, you have the address for your website. I have it, too. I just have to get over here. I've got it right here. It's it's drbesthouse.org, correct?
Correct.
And all the information is there. And that office hour sign on there, is that something...
That's a piece in the house.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, it's delayed.
Isn't that great? All kinds of great stuff. Hey, listen, Bobby, sounds like a great place to visit, and I hope people take the time to do so once you get into your season. And we appreciate your time today filling us in on this.
Absolutely. And just a quick note, we're having a huge blowout this year in Middleburg. We've done our 4th Fridays starting last year. We're having a Rotary Friday, which is going to be May 15th. So it's the entire village. It's from 5:30 to about dark, 8:30, somewhere in there. Everybody's welcome. It's a great festival and a great town.
Yeah, it really is. And my wife and I have been through that area, so it is just, a lot of problems there years ago weather-wise. But boy, what a beautiful area.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
it
a great
really
community.
is. Yes, absolutely. Bobby Ryan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bobby Ryan, director of the Dr. Best House and Medical Exhibit in Middleburg. And again, that's drbesthouse.org.
Starting your day with the